Have you ever stopped to consider how much the people around you influence your life, your decisions, and ultimately your happiness? Consider this. A ripple in a pond, a spark in the dark, a whisper in the wind. These are all examples of how influence can subtly shape our surroundings. And just as these forces shape the world, so too do the people in our lives shape us. We are social creatures, and the company we keep has the power to mold our thoughts, our behaviors, and our very identities. Imagine for a moment a mirror. When we stand in front of it, we see ourselves reflected back. But what if that mirror started reflecting not just our physical appearance, but our attitudes, our beliefs, our values? This is the power of influence, the ability to shape and define not just how we see ourselves, but how we see the world. There's an old saying that goes, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Think about that for a moment. Who are these 5 people in your life? What are their attitudes, their behaviors, their beliefs? Are they positive, uplifting, inspiring, or are they negative, demotivating, toxic? The power of influence is a double-edged sword. It can be a force for good, helping us to grow, to learn, to become better versions of ourselves. But it can also be a force for harm, dragging us down, stifling our growth, and clouding our vision with negativity. So it is of utmost importance to surround yourself with positive influences, with people who inspire you, motivate you, and make you want to be better. Because remember, these people are your mirrors. They reflect back at you who you are and who you can become. This power of influence can be a force for good or bad depending on the people you let into your life. But how do we recognize the toxic individuals who are hindering our growth and happiness? Well, let's delve into some practical tips that can help you identify the toxic individuals in your life. Firstly, pay attention to constant negativity. Now, we all have our off days, but if someone consistently brings a downpour to your sunny disposition, it might be a sign of a toxic individual. They seem to have a dark cloud following them around, and their pessimism can be draining, stifling your potential for growth and happiness. Next, observe their criticism. Constructive feedback can be beneficial, but toxic individuals often criticize unnecessarily and excessively. They have a knack for pointing out flaws and rarely acknowledge your strengths. This behavior can severely dent your self-esteem and hamper your progress. Respect for boundaries is another vital factor. Everyone has personal boundaries, whether physical or emotional. If someone repeatedly oversteps these boundaries, it's a clear sign of a toxic individual. They may invade your personal space, dismiss your feelings, or make unreasonable demands. This lack of respect can leave you feeling uncomfortable and violated. Lastly, beware of manipulation. Toxic individuals are often skilled manipulators. They twist situations to their advantage, making you feel guilty or indebted. Their cunning tactics can be subtle, making it all the more important to stay vigilant. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards removing toxic individuals from your life. It's not always easy, and it certainly doesn't happen overnight. But remember, the goal is not to judge or condemn others. Instead, it's about protecting your mental and emotional well-being, your growth, and your happiness. By identifying these toxic behaviors, you empower yourself. You gain the strength to make decisions that serve your best interests, and you create the space for positive, uplifting relationships. Being able to identify a toxic individual is crucial to maintaining a healthy and positive life. So keep these tips in mind, listen to your intuition, and remember, you deserve a life free from toxicity, filled with growth, positivity, and genuine happiness. What happens when we allow these toxic individuals to remain in our lives? Let's dive into the repercussions of such a choice. Imagine yourself as a vessel filled with energy, potential, and positivity. Now visualize a small hole at the bottom through which this energy slowly seeps out. This hole, my friends, symbolizes the toxic individuals in our lives. They drain us of our vitality, leaving us feeling exhausted and depleted. But it's not just our energy they take away. They also introduce an element of unnecessary stress into our lives. Like a constant nagging headache, they keep us on edge, making it difficult for us to focus on our goals. They cloud our mind with negativity, causing us to question our self-worth and abilities. And in this state of constant stress and self-doubt, achieving our full potential becomes an uphill task. The most significant impact, however, is on our personal growth. You see, growth requires an environment that fosters positivity, encourages risks, and celebrates success. Toxic individuals, with their negativity and constant criticism, create an environment that's the exact opposite. They make us doubt our capabilities, causing us to shy away from taking risks. They belittle our successes, preventing us from celebrating our achievements. And in this way, they hinder our personal growth. Now, it's important to remember that we're not helpless victims here. We are in control. We choose who to allow into our lives and who to keep out. And when we choose to keep toxic individuals in our lives, we choose to accept all the negative impacts that come with them. But let's take a moment to ask ourselves, is it worth it? Is it worth sacrificing our peace and growth for these individuals who bring nothing but negativity and stress into our lives? The cost of keeping toxic individuals in our life is too high a price to pay for our peace and growth. So let's make the choice today to remove these individuals from our lives, and in doing so, reclaim our energy, peace, and potential for growth. So, how do we remove these toxic individuals from our lives? The first step is to recognize the toxicity. It's not always easy to spot, but it's there, lurking in the shadows of belittling comments, constant criticism, and an overall lack of support. Once you've identified the source, the next step becomes clearer. Setting boundaries is crucial. These invisible lines serve as a protective shield, keeping the negativity at bay. Start by communicating your needs. Express your concerns and make it clear what behavior you will not tolerate. Remember, you have the right to feel safe, valued, and respected in all your relationships. Sometimes setting boundaries might not be enough, and that's okay. Reducing contact can be an effective next step. If every interaction leaves you feeling drained and demoralized, it might be time to distance yourself. This doesn't mean you need to cut ties completely, but rather limit the time and energy you invest in these relationships. However, there will be instances where severing ties becomes necessary. This is often the most difficult step, but sometimes it's the only way to truly protect your mental and emotional health. Remember, ending a toxic relationship doesn't mean you're a bad person. It simply means you're choosing to prioritize your well-being. Throughout this process, it's crucial to have a support system. Surround yourself with positive influences, people who encourage you, uplift you, and believe in your potential. They'll provide the strength and reassurance you need during this challenging time. It's also important to engage in self-care. This can mean different things to different people. For some, it's practicing mindfulness. For others, it might be going for a run or reading a good book. Find what rejuvenates you and make time for it. Finally, don't forget to be patient with yourself. Removing toxic individuals from your life is a process, and it's okay to take it one step at a time. Removing toxic individuals from our lives is not an act of cruelty, but an act of self-care. What does life look like without these toxic individuals? Let's imagine for a moment. Picture a life where the air you breathe is lighter, the thoughts you have are clearer, and the choices you make are solely yours, uninfluenced by the negativity of others. This is what a toxic-free life looks like. It's a life of liberation, a life of authenticity, a life of growth. When you bid farewell to toxic individuals, you make room for improved mental health. Your mind is no longer a battlefield of self-doubt and insecurity, but a sanctuary of positivity, self-love, and acceptance. You sleep better, you worry less, and you begin to nurture a healthy relationship with yourself. The dark clouds of anxiety and depression make way for the sunshine of peace and contentment. A toxic-free life also paves the way for increased happiness. The joy you feel is genuine, not marred by the bitterness of others. You begin to find delight in the simple pleasures of life, a good book, a hearty laugh, a serene sunset. Your heart feels lighter, your smile is wider, and life in general seems brighter. The greatest gift of liberating yourself from toxic influences is personal growth. With the absence of constant criticism and discouragement, you find the courage to explore your potential. You take risks, you learn, you fail, and you grow. You become a better version of yourself, not molded by the judgment of others, but shaped by your experiences and aspirations. And remember, in this journey of personal growth, surround yourself with positive and uplifting individuals. These are the people who will cheer for your victories, support you in your failures, and inspire you to keep moving forward. They are the ones who will add color to your life's canvas, making it a masterpiece of your own creation. A life free from toxic individuals is not just a dream, it's a possibility within your reach. So reach out, take hold, and embrace the beautiful, toxic-free life that awaits you.